people are joining in as we speak. So I think I'm just going to kick off. Just some housekeeping before we start. I'm going to try and keep the session to 30, 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. We have had so many questions come in, mostly through DM. So I will sort my way through those. Hopefully they will make sense in the order that they come. And yeah, I'd love you to both introduce yourselves. I know that neither of you really need introductions, but Kumar, if you'd like to introduce yourself, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So let me know when.
Go.
Hi, Kumar Sangakkara. It's great to join the AMA with Chris and Victoria and to talk about cricket and technology and Meta 11 and the metaverse and the new direction of cricket. It's been brilliant having played the game for such a long time to be a part of it and be part of the new direction of cricket.
Awesome sauce. And Chris, give us an intro.
Yeah, I'll try to be short and sweet. I'm Chris Ebeling. I am one of the recent, I'm the chief creative officer who's just recently joined Meta 11. Well, I say recently, it feels like a year, but it's been 3 months now. And yeah, I've previously worked in the animation, games, tech industry across many projects. Most recently, I helped build a company called Virtually Human Studio, where we focused on, Web3, blockchain, digital asset ownership with digital horse racing called Zed Run, and did that for 4 years. But yeah, recently jumped on board, joined Kumar and the team, fell in love with their project from when they pitched it to me. I can see massive potential. I love, the fusion of artificial intelligence and Web3 utility on top of gamification and storytelling and lore. So I feel like I'm in my, you call it in Japanese, my ikigai, my comfort zone, the place I need to be and where I can, thrive. I love every minute of the day working on this project. So I guess we're here to tell everybody about what's going on and answer all the fun questions. And and also, of course, talk to Kumar about his vision from starting the company.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a great segue to my first question. So Kumar, you obviously have an incredible history within the real world game of cricket, but I'm really curious if you could speak to what's motivated you to step into bridging the real world cricket game with this world of digital sports and AI and essentially the creation of Meta 11.
Yeah, I mean, I played cricket, Victoria, as you know, for over 16, 17 years internationally. And cricket has always been a very traditional game. And just before 2008, it started, trending a new way with the advent of T20 cricket. And then the digital and technological advancements that have come thick and fast. And cricket has stepped into a new era of consumption by a new era of fans, and it's going to go more and more in that direction, and we have to start embracing that change. There's always be room for tradition, but if we are to ensure that the game is for everyone, everywhere in the world, then we have to embrace technology and the new direction that cricket is going. So when we sat down and talked about what we can do to try and make this sport that we love for everyone, we thought going into the metaverse, going with technology and not reinventing cricket, but basically repositioning it, adding all other elements that we find entertaining, we find attractive along with the game. It's amazing to see how far we've come with that. So, it's about sport is about emotion, connection, it's about passion, it's about commitment, and it's about, escapism. And it's really important for me and everyone here, you, Chris, as well, and you, Victoria, and all the other people that have helped shape the direction of Meta 11, that anyone, anywhere in the world, whether you're a traditional cricketer or not, can come, join Meta 11, and have absolute fun. And just be able to connect with the game, connect with people, and be able to play it, and have the time of your life. And then you can connect with your community and your friends through the game. Other cricketers, you can have your own avatar in the game, and you can do things that you have seen your icons and your heroes in the cricketing world do. You can be a part of that, and you can actually play cricket, even though you've never touched a bat or ball before or been involved in a game. This is the time to do it. And who knows, you could be playing against one of the world's best cricketers, someone you watched as a kid, someone you absolutely admire, your favorite cricketer in the world could be part of that competition. So, what more could be there? And Chris, you can talk about as well all the additions that we have in the game that is slightly different to a normal cricket game, but just makes the sport, the engagement, and the game itself so much more interesting.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I love everything you said. I mean, I never played sport at that level you played at, Kumar, and I have so much respect for athletes that, give their sport, their passion, that kind of dedication and commitment. I think people who know me know I love basketball, and I played at a level I could get to until I couldn't do anymore. But exactly what you said, like the camaraderie and the community, the friendship, the family feel that sports gives you. I mean, it is escapism, and it's all built around entertainment, right? And you want the fans and the players to feel that passion, and you want people to get involved, and you see it. You see it on a Sunday night soccer game where fans go wild and they're singing songs for 90 minutes straight. I mean, it's contagious, and it's euphoric in some ways for many people. So, and it is exactly that time just to step away and be with birds of a feather, you could say, and people who want to share that passion and energy with you. So absolutely love it. And everything you said as well about how we can make this accessible, I think, is the key. Cricket is an amazing game. It's one with deep culture and deep history, and it's something that's never been, told in a way that we want to tell it. And we're going to bring cricket to the masses in a different way. And just like you said, we're going to respect the history of the game, the rules of the game, the way it's played. I mean, we can talk to the AI component there and how we're bringing in real world data and real world players into the game. But then we're adding that extra layer of entertainment around it as well, which really is where I go. We want to be the Marvel of sports. We want to be the Fortnite of sports. And the reason why I picked those two is because everybody knows the stories of Spider-Man and Batman or DC Comics. And I'm saying Marvel and DC. I'm mixing them together. But superheroes, we've all looked up to those for many, 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 many years through comics, through great storytelling. And we want to bring that great storytelling into our universe as well, and in a way that then bridges the gap into other cultures, and historic events as well. So it's not just honoring, the game of cricket and the Commonwealth. That's going to be there. It's going to be respected. However, bridging in more cultures through even more deeper storytellers, telling strong character building, and then wrapping that around a really exciting, next iteration of cricket, which is, if the people have seen any of the stuff that's been leaked out there, it's one-on-one cricket to start with, but it's like mano y mano, or woman versus man, or woman versus woman as well. Like we're bringing in all the stuff that you see in a game, something like Fortnite, right, where female characters are very popular, where you have a creator economy, where you really believe in this character that you have. There's a backstory to it, and you can also add elements to this character, train it, add assets, win things and unlock things that then you bring into the game to give you a better chance to compete and win. So I'm jumping ahead, Victoria. So I don't want to.
Yeah.
I get
Chris,
carried away. So I'll stop.
Chris, did it when you joined, from a non-cricketing background,
Yeah.
a sporting background, none the same. And we all know that once you're an athlete or a sports person, you're always one.
Yeah.
But it surprised you that cricket had, close to 1.3 billion in terms of following around the world.
Yeah. No, but look, it did and it didn't, because I did live in Australia for 17 years. So I saw a lot of test matches back in the day, especially those that heated up, like with, Gilchrist and Brett Lee, Andrew Simmons, when against the Indian team back then. I think that was 2006 or something like that. Yeah, that Christmas, and I remember that, and I really got into it because of the rivalry, right? The stories behind the scenes and all the news. So and again, Victoria, I know we're jumping ahead here, but why not? I mean, sports is exciting when you watch it if you love, sports. But what really makes sports exciting as well is the stories and the narratives behind it, right? Everything that's happening behind the scenes, people calling each other out, and this is where I'm working very hard at the moment on stories, deep stories for each of these characters that we want to release, Genesis characters, so that they come with backstories and from a world which is believable, but again, a world akin to Marvel universes, so we can also, open up the game for a wider audience who's excited and intrigued by these kind of worlds. Um, but yeah, I mean, cricket I think is amazing. The 5-day test match, oh my God! I mean, I don't know how they can do that. That's a marathon. But when 2020 came, when 2020 came along, I was like, wow, okay, I see it now. It's action packed energy. I mean, and it's just constant crowd going crazy, right?
And also in terms of, you mentioned stories, and I was thinking about that. You had over this 1.3 billion people, you have a very small amount that actually play cricket
Mm,
at the
Mm-hmm.
in terms of T20 cricket, franchise cricket at the international level. That's always seen. But there are so many untold stories among the people that watch,
yeah,
and the children that come and watch, the families that come and watch, all those untold stories. And the beauty of Meta 11 is that in the metaverse with your avatar, you can tell those stories.
yeah,
You can create stories, and you can be a part of this fabric of stories, this fabric of entertainment, this fabric of characters that will come together, and you'll be part of this whole community. And it's amazing that that simple barriers that sometimes restrict your access to playing your dream sport along with your heroes or your community or your friends and family are taken away in the metaverse.
mm,
And I think it's amazing how you can connect through Meta 11 and the game that we are creating with each other and with the game you love and tell your story.
yeah. That's beautifully said, Kumar. Because we do have a thing where we talk about often putting yourself in the game, but not only just putting yourself in the game, but creating your own story while you're there, right? So that's absolutely correct. And then comes back to that accessibility, right? We want to make sure that this game is where our approach is a freemium model. We want it to be free to play to start with, so everybody can jump in and be a part of that journey and start defining their story and just having fun. I think you said that was the nail on the head for me. Is always it has to be fun first. Um, for the sake of time, and I know Victoria's sitting there just wanting to get through questions, but I mean, I know me and you, Kumar, we could probably talk for the next hour about this, which would be exciting too. But Victoria, how are you
No, no,
feeling?
no. I think you're essentially answering all of these questions that have been
Yeah,
submitted. I think that you're absolutely hitting the nail on the head. This point of representation and
yeah,
inclusivity is so important, and wrapping that into the fabric of these
yeah,
stories, of these AI characters. Perhaps if I just steer the direction a little bit, if you could explore and maybe describe what you mean by AI characters and how they play within the game, that would be
yeah.
amazing.
Awesome. I mean, I'll jump in there real quickly because the technology the team's built, like Krishan and the tech team, is absolutely amazing, and it's also what, again, just to kind of give it the harder sell, is what drew me in as well. They've been working on these AI models for almost 2 years, a year and a half, I believe, to 2 years. And what they're able to do is they're able to read real world data, footage of real world cricket, and put it into the game and read ball speeds, batting speeds, how the players hit, and catch all these like intricacies of real world players and map them back into advanced data sets, which then are played into these AI avatars, right? So you could have, and we do. I mean, we have got Kumar here, and we've actually had Kumar in a mocap suit, moving and playing like Kumar, and we've got years of data of Kumar that we can map onto a character as well. So when Kumar mentions that you can play alongside a real world avatar or against one, that's absolutely possible now because of the technology and the way that we feed these AI models that then map all this back onto an avatar. So in my mind, and if you want to go storytelling, we're actually cloning real world players into the metaverse, right? Into Meta 11. And this is only the beginning. I mean, what you're able to do then with that is you can go back in time and get, data. As long as you have the data and you have the footage, we can now, bring older players back into the game. Legends live forever is a concept we're playing with that, you might retire, or you might, pass on, which happens to everyone at some point. But you can now still be represented forever in a digital space, in a digital void. And I know it, ethically and all that, it kind of sounds a bit, are we playing with? But we're not. It's just about paying respects to athletes and to legends and to anyone who wants to enter the space, because the technology is there. We can now record and map and recreate real world players into the digital.
Chris,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Kumar.
and I think it'll be also cool to talk about when you say AI, you almost think the work's done for you. But in terms of your own individual agency, if you're
Exactly.
created your avatar, Chris has been doing some amazing things to allow you to be, inputting into the game as the game is going on.
Yeah.
And that's so cool when I listen to Chris talk about it. You're not just sitting back and letting the players play. You are engaged with the avatar, with the competition, and you're completely immersed in it as a player. So it'll be really great to have a little bit of your input in that, Chris.
Of course. So that's a great call out, Kumar. I love it. So the AI layer is the first layer. That's what you're given, right? You're given a character who has certain attributes inside it. Now, when you come and play the freemium game, you're going to be given something called a scout. It's not going to be one of these legendary players. Those you're going to meet along the way. You're going to battle with. You're going to unlock things. Like, again, it's a video game. You have to progress. And in terms of progression, look at things like Fortnite, Call of Duty, any other video game out there. Whether you win or lose, you're always progressing, right? So time put in will equal rewards in terms of experience and progression, and that's super important because that's how video games work, right? But what you do now with this AI Scout is you can train him or her. You can build her up by playing games or training her. But as Kumar mentioned, you'll also have in-game agency. Like, you're not just going to put them in a game and watch them go. You're going to put them in the game and they're going to play, but you're going to be able to call certain tactics, whether to play more aggressively, play more defensively. You're going to be able to equip her with a bat, or change I say weapons because I'm in the gaming space, right? And I feel like when it's one-on-one, it's a battle. So again, I want you to think about this one-on-one cricket more like Street Fighter in some ways, where it is a battle, it is war. You want to win, and we can equip with. I always bring out the mongoose bat as a weapon. You would know the mongoose bat very well, Kumar.
Yes.
But that was like back in the day. That bat was the heavy hitter. That was the slugger, and not many cricket players could play with it because it was heavy. But when they did bring it on the field, it could change the tide of the game, right? The balance. And for me, the mongoose bat is like bringing the Excalibur sword, or the Viking battle axe, or the samurai katana, like the rare samurai katana, onto the battlefield, and it changes the balance of the game. And again, I go into the storytelling place, like I get goosebumps talking about it because I love that side of games, narrative, escapism, and layering that with sports. I think is such a beautiful thing, and it hasn't been done, not the way that we're looking at doing it, which is really awesome. So again, back to having agency, having a say. You can change weapons, but if you change the sword, change the bat to the mongoose bat, or the battle axe, the other player can also change the ball to the fireball or the ice ball or whatever it may be, some sort of magic, right? And we're working on this story world now, which will encompass this kind of world and this new technology, set in the future. So these things will all have a why to them and a reason for being there. And much akin to when you look at something like Spider-Verse, and they've got this technology that goes through parallel universes, or if you're familiar with the show Arcane, they have some magic powers in there, which is technology, which again also gives that universe a reason to be, and also to grow and to tell more flexible and wider stories in it. But as a
Yeah, and just on that, Chris, as well, one of our pillars is to empower creativity.
yeah.
So if you could speak to how this particular point meets that pillar, that would be fantastic too.
Yeah. So empower creativity is also giving you, the user, the utility, the options to create things within the game, right? And this is something, again, when we say Fortnite of sports, that's where that reference comes in. What Fortnite has done so amazingly well is they've empowered their community to be the builders for them. And we want to go down the same approach. And we can also use generative AI tools, and we can give that in the hands of the users. So you design bats, you design jerseys, you design things. And back to Kumar's point is, you get to design your story. You get to tell your story. How do you want to be within this world? Like, we can give you a sandbox to play in, but you get to decide what kind of castle you want to build, or dig a hole. Whatever you do in that sandbox is up to you. But that's really the kind of idea of user generated content. And then you can also be rewarded for that content because of the way Web3 and blockchain works, right? Now when you create something, it's not just a digital asset that, just lives on an account. It can actually be minted onto the blockchain, and it can be, passed on. It'll have legacy. It could be sold. It could be leased out. The sky's the limit when you start fusing these technologies together. It has to be said, we're still early. We are, but there is just so much opportunity, and we're doing this like one step at a time, one strong brick foundationally at a time. It's very important that our focuses are aligned and are focused on fun first and accessibility first, and then from there we're going to build into this greater ecosystem, which has empowering creativity as one of its main pillars.
And I
Yeah.
mean, Chris, listening to you, it's really interesting for me because, for everyone who's joined us and who's going to listen to this, beyond just this, this time limit,
Yeah.
when you say cricket and you look at cricket in whichever format, and you might say, oh, it's going to be the same. It's some people might find it boring, some might not, whatever. But what you have to understand is that, like you said, the sky's the limit. Creativity,
Mm-hmm.
technology, taking away the restrictions. You can change your bats into it, and your battle axes will morph into bats, and your
Yeah.
bats will morph into battle axes. You want to change the ball, like you said, to the fireball or the ice ball or whatever that ball is going to be. It is, there are connects to the real game that we see, but what you can create in the metaverse in terms of competition and competitiveness and rivalry is going to be beyond anything that holds you back in terms of the traditional game. The skins that you wear, the equipment that you use, playing in the rain, playing in a storm,
Yeah.
playing on ice, having equipment that you win and you earn, rewards, real life rewards as well. Being able to play one-on-one later on with the community, to be play in amazingly created stadiums,
Mm-hmm.
and the community being a part of that creation and part of creating the stories and the rivalries. I mean, I listen to you, and it's so exciting, and that element of fun,
Yes.
uh, sometimes the unknown, sometimes the unpredictability. The ability to go from, your one world to the other, one sport to the next on our platform, starting with cricket. First of all, the potential is huge, and the ability for anyone who's playing this game to keep on transforming, keep on changing, keep on morphing. It's amazing, the potential of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're hitting on really a wide, the high level vision there. And to the people who haven't heard us talk about it before, and this is where we say it's the marvel of sports as well, right? Like multiple universes where we're starting with cricket. And I want to be very, very clear that we're focused on cricket, and we're going to be focused fully on cricket for the next, 2 years, I would say 18 to 24 months before we even consider rolling into another sport, because we have interest from other sports. A lot of other sports want to come into the Web3 space. They've seen our technology. They know that it is sound and it can do what we're saying. But we want to deliver cricket first and make this right. And once we've got that right, just to your point, Kumar, once an athlete, always an athlete, you'll be able to traverse your character, your cricket player, who started in Meta 11 into the soccer, the sister game, which is football. I call it football still, but it's, to the wider world, it's known as soccer as well. Or further into a UFC ring, or further into a basketball stadium, or baseball, or golf. You name it. This is what's so beautiful about the technology that's been built by Krishan, the CTO and CEO, and his team, is that it's adaptable, and we can now wrap around it of course you have to make some changes to it, but the fact that the technology does what it does, and we can feed it into AI avatars, and they can play, and you can come on top and now control these avatars, and have agency, and equip them, and train them, and make them better or worse, but that you can own them and now go on these journeys. It's just exponential, right? And yeah, the story that we're creating at the moment, I'm working very hard with a story writer at the moment. It's super exciting. It's because everything needs to have a who, what, where, when, and why, right? It needs a place to exist, and hopefully soon we'll be able to start feeding the story out there, because from this story, these Genesis characters, which are the superheroes of these realms, will be born, and hopefully there's a character for everyone in there, just like your favorite TV show has a character that you like the most, and that's got to be the approach. We have to create deep, connecting, emotional uh, characters, emotionally driven characters that we can connect with on a higher level as well. And then you can come in there with your avatar, with your story, with your personality. You can create your syndicates. You can have your teams, your rivalries. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm super pumped. To say the-
I know that I realise that we're coming down to some
Yeah,
time, so I do. There are a couple of questions that I definitely want to sneak in. One of those that props up super often is about emerging tech beyond AI and blockchain. So things like spatial
yeah.
computing, the Vision Pro. What does that look like for behavioral's tech and the future of digital sports?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's coming. The announcement of the Apple device, Vision Pro, is not that it's happening overnight. It's going to take, again, I say 5 years before, but it's before it kind of the masses can afford to have these headsets. But this is the first of many headsets that's going to be coming out. Now we're talking spatial computing, XR, mixed reality. There's the Oculuses have been around for a while, and they will always be there. So, but having these mixed reality devices, these spatial computing is next level, is a game changer, because you're not losing yourself away from reality, you're adding to reality. And it's gonna happen, but this is like even before the early days of the iPhone, but it's a signal of what's to come, basically the changing of the guard, if you ask me. I think 5 to 8 years, I think it's going to be more normal for people walking around with headsets on, and using them more freely and normally. And when that happens, we can now bring digital objects into our real world. You'll be able to just look at a hotel when you're walking down. Let's say you're walking down Broadway and you'll need a hotel room, and you just look up through your glasses, and it will X-ray and show you what rooms are available. It'll show you the menu. You can touch and click and see the costs, and where, I want to be in that room. What does that have? And then it will zoom up and show you that it doesn't have the bathtub you want. And then you go away and you select the next room, and that's a better view. I mean, that's just one example, which is crazy. But then if you think about sports and entertainment and Meta 11, I mean, yeah, I've said it before. I mean, I'd love to. Kumar's in London, I'm in Copenhagen. While we're only just one sea away from each other, I would love to load up my cricket player in my backyard or living room or on my table, because you can scale things and make them big or small, whatever. And he will load up his cricket avatar, which will be himself, hopefully, or maybe someone else, someone that he's a fan of, and then we'll go at it, and he can see my avatar in his backyard, I can see it in mine, and they're playing, and we can throw things in there, and we can even see each other through our own avatars standing in the coaching corner and changing things. So it becomes this kind of yeah, it's trippy, but technology is going that way, and so that's just one aspect. I mean, I could do a whole talk for hours on where I think we're going with that stuff. But what I like to say to people is you only need to look backwards. You know, what's the last 10, 20 years done for us? If you look at that acceleration of technology and where we come from, I think you'll know where we're going.
It's the same with cricket, Chris, as well.
Yes.
You look, see where we've come from and where it is going. That's exactly where we are with our game, and positioning it together and joining and taking cricket in this new direction, and allowing, taking away restrictions and barriers to entry, democratizing it and making it for everyone, but allowing them to be creative and free and help take the game that they love into completely new directions. And you don't have to play cricket as well with technology. You can play, you can be part of the fun and the escapism and that community through the technology.
100%. And I think that's a great point too, in terms of you don't have to know cricket. That comes down to really good game design, and that's what we're working on as well, is that accessibility, that anybody from anywhere can come in, get an avatar, and it's going to be intuitive. It's going to be heuristic. It's going to be easy for them to pick up and get in and have fun, right? I say this quote a lot of times, and I get called out for it maybe sometimes, or just recently I thought it was a funny quote. Shout out to BG for that one on Twitter. But you know, people vote with their feet, and they'll go where their fun is. If we're not making something which is fun and entertaining and sticky and people want to come back to, that's got to be the focus first. And that's the goal here for Meta 11, is opening up the doors for everyone to come in, have some fun, and and then the rest, then build your history within the game.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we are a little bit over, and I see that there are quite a few hand requests up. What I will say is that I would highly recommend everybody jump into the Discord, drop in any questions that you have. We'll be in there all day. We're in there all the time. Or just drop us a message at Meta11 Official on all of the socials, bar LinkedIn, which is at Behaviol. And yeah, please send us your questions. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, how about this, Victoria? I'll jump into Discord now and field some questions if people want.
Amazing. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But yeah, I really appreciate both of you have just on a whim, without me even asking questions, answered all of the questions that came through this weekend. It was beautiful. So well put. Thank you so much for your time today. And thank you everybody for listening. Superb. We'll be back next month for another AMA. And yeah, any questions that you have, jump into Discord, drop me a DM, and we will speak to you all soon. Thank you so much.
I think before we go, just apart from Meta 11, let me just put something in there that some people who have joined might be wanting to ask. And yes, Johnny Bairstow was out, and I don't think it was against the spirit of cricket. So I'll just put that in there, away from Meta,
Good man.
into the mix.
Love it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kumar.
Kumar, thank you for your time, legend.
Thanks, guys. It was brilliant. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you so much. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Victoria.